kind of like a free for all at this moment, because if there isn't anything, if there isn't anything specific, just like how I do with the events, I basically just started going right down to more of a scripted training where I just kind of showed the overview of everything and then kind of gave examples of stuff. So does anyone have any specific things that they would like like to know more about, or need help with, or want to do with their club? Anything specifically that I can start to build and give you some guidance on? Can everyone still hear me? But can someone just talk so I can verify that it was just working? I want to make sure that it's all still working. So can someone just talk?
Yeah, it's still working. Sorry.
Okay, okay, cool, perfect. So then I was freaking out there for a sec. Okay, so then I will put this here, and sweet. So let's put that there. So I'll just start going over everything, right? So my big thing here, and I have to share my screen, and I will say for the recording now that this is the emails part 1 training of WolfPack Connect. We started off a little bit late due to some audio issues, but we can get this show on the road here. So I am going to take us, I do pretty much everything with the test group club. That way we can be able to play with things and see what happens. But the email tab today that we're kind of going over, and I will get this out of the way too. The email tab does a lot of different things. It has a lot of different options, and we're going to kind of go through just this basic here with some of these things on here and what they mean. Some of them are self-explanatory. Some of them may have a little bit more detail that just isn't exactly apparent until you kind of, until you dig into it. And since I've dug into it, I can kind of give a little bit more context. And then we will start just building some emails on more of the basic email builder, and then the next training we will actually go in to the advanced email builder, which kind of is, it's the bee's knees, it's the hot potato. It gives you a lot more options and a lot more things that you can do and add into your email that really attract your membership or your potential new members. If, say, this was something that you were sending an email out to prospective students and trying to hopefully get them to join. So, but basically, yes, we're going to start this off. Yes, as you can see, and I always try telling everyone to have this side window pane, this left side window pane open. The big thing here with that is then you can start to see everything, because if you look just right with this, and you don't have this open, you're just going to be able to do things, but you're not going to know about all the additional options. And this just popping out makes it very easy. So yeah, just like with any other standard like Gmail or Yahoo Mail or whatever type of mail, you're going to have you sent your drafts, and that's really probably going to be it. I mean, you'll have more options, but if you sort things out in subfolders, but as you can see with our sent, what we sent, who sent it. Sometimes you can have it be the name, be one thing, but it's actually coming on behalf of the club. So in this instance with this, right, I'm just sending it straight out. Or here's a great example. This came from Scarlett, and this went out to all officers. And then we have groups within them that, in this case, students not applicable, students unknown, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one way of doing it. But as you can see here, you also have your email tags, which is something I'm slowly working with everyone to try to build with, is the fact that tagging allows you to do so much more with tracking things, getting kind of data to be able to build a model of what will help you and your club be the most effective at engaging your membership, but also it helps you to be able to say, hey, I want to give something or give this email off to only a specific group of people, but not everybody in the group, right? So in this instance, I've created these Team Green, Team Orange, et cetera, and depending on if a member was selected with the Team Green tag, and say we had 20 students with the Team Green tag, yeah, they would obviously only get that email message, and nobody else would. So it can be helpful for, like, say you have a subgroup within a specific club. Or I'll use the example of Student Senate. They have a lot of organizations where they have their main organization, but they have subcommittees within the organization. So if a committee on mental health or a committee on finance or whatever, they could have all these different tags, which would allow them to be able to specify who they want maybe something to go out to. And since officers like yourselves only have the ability to be able to send out those emails and actually do the higher level of permission-based management for clubs, you would have access to do stuff like this. You can also create a new tag, obviously, and then refresh that list, but creating a new tag obviously just pops this down, and then once you do that, it will show up here. If it doesn't, you refresh that right as well. So similar to how other inboxes would look, you would have your when it was sent, but the difference I think here is you can start to see that we have some actual information as to who it was sent out to. Yes, that is similar to how other mailboxes are, but how many clicked on it, how many opened it, and who actually unsubscribed from the email, right? So you can have somebody who you send it out to all the entire student body, for example, and you can get some unsubscriptions. They say, I don't want to be a part of this email, mass email thread, to have that happen again. That's something that they can do. I can show an example of this where this actually happened, right? So let's go to, we could actually go to Student Senate to show this, because we did send out some emails where it actually did happen. So we have it's loading our sent. So this just happened and was sent out on October 21st, so not that long ago. We had 3 people unsubscribe, right? Now, that unsubscribe, I think maybe if maybe there's some hopefully connection with the unsubscribed and this unsubscribed side option here, and you would be right. If you click on this unsubscribe, it would show you everyone who have subscribed from getting messages from your group, and then it will also show what the specific email was that that's when they started unsubscribing from the group. So in this instance, Ashley, right, she unsubscribed on the 24th from that email that was just sent out, right? And so you can tell, like, okay, well, that we have some relation. I don't know exactly what relevant things you can use with this to be able to, and some, besides the basic information of knowing who unsubscribed from something, but yeah, there's obviously, I think that there could be something. We just would have to identify and figure out what. So that is a good example of that. And yeah, like I said, you can view all of those unsubscribed in that tile. But then we also have some other things here, right? So like I said, who it went to, the clicks, the unsubscribed, the opens, etc. Now I'm going to go to the executive leadership team club organization and show you another great example of this, right? So I just sent this out 2 days ago, and I sent it out to 279 recipients, which essentially is sent it out to the entire everyone who would be considered a club advisor or a club officer, anybody, which came out to 279 individuals. I have some email tags kind of identifying what specifically these emails were about, right? So in this instance, if I'm just looking at it, right, I could be like, okay, that's obviously of this year. It's about getting money, and it's from about the incentive program, right? And depending on what you build those email tags with, kind of like what I referenced, you can see that you could really pick out a lot, and that information can be very useful. Like, hey, this was about getting help from a club liaison on training or a workshop, right? That you can really be able to quickly find what you're looking for, especially if you're sending out a lot of communications. But back to this email from a couple days ago. So yeah, 279 recipients that sent it out to you. We can tell that 58% of the people, 163 people opened it, right? No one ever subscribed, which was great. I would hope no one would, but 19 clicks. And obviously that those 19 clicks, you're going to be able to see that when you open, you could actually click on it here as well, but the opens and clicks would do the same thing, take you to the same area. It will give you, again, an overview of what specifically you're looking at. And that overview will be your subject of the email, just a quick who you sent it to, and then the rest of the individuals. You can't actually be able to see any more past that, unfortunately. When you sent it, again, all that stuff. You can actually view the original email. So I could, view and actually go back to that email and see exactly what that email looked like. If I didn't send it and say somebody on my group sent it, I could be able to go back and see that. Or if I just wanted to review maybe something that I said that I need to verify that I actually said, or whatever it may be, right? But that can be helpful, right? So then, and now going back here, so that those opening clicks, right? So 19 clicks, right? So we can tell that every person who opened this email, right, they clicked on something. So those clicks would be equivalent to, this would be this link right here would be a link that they could click. This could be a link that they could click, as well as this, as well as that, and so on, right? As well as that, there's multiple ones here, right? There's also links to videos too. So there's tons of stuff. So now we can kind of see that, all right, well, looks like they did click on some forums. Looks like they did open up some of the YouTube training videos, and you can identify that you've got those clicks. You can also, here's Karen, where she opened it. You can also tell that she used that Sign Up Genius link and was able to sign up and add to table. So it can be this can be very useful just to know how and if you hit your audience, especially if in this instance, right, these are members of ELT. We need to be able to contact and reach them. So I don't think anyone would want to unsubscribe, but it's pretty clear that everyone wants to get the information. But let's say if you didn't have direct committed membership, right, and you were doing more of an approach to try to reach members or reach potential new members, you could be able to tell, like, did this work? I know I used this specific information for Student Senate last year for the Senate elections, right? We were trying to see if we had any opportunities for students to apply to be a senator before the deadline. And so, we sent out a mass email to the whole student body and waited to see what we got back. We checked the stuff. We sent another one out a few days later. And then the day or so before the actual deadline, we looked at this information to be able to view that hey, there were some students who actually did click on this, but just never finished the application. Maybe we can target those specific students and then be able to hopefully maybe give them just enough of the reminder, if they were on the fence, maybe this is just enough of a reminder to get them to sign up. Because as you'll see that there are some, like this individual right here, he didn't click on anything, right? He opened it, but he didn't feel it necessary to click on anything, which is fine. So yeah, this can be helpful to be able to give you just enough information to be able to maybe pursue specific audiences in that. And then, yeah, you could use that tagging feature to be able to tag it and then utilize who you're now going to send out to based off of some of this information. So that can be very useful, right? If there are any questions, right, Yeah, I am looking at the chat, right? So you can drop them in if you do it, and I'll answer them. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue moving along here. Some other big bits of information out of this, right? As we kind of go down, I could look for specifics, right? So I know myself, Sean Green opened this, so I could go ahead and click and look for that. Boom, there I am, right? I can see that I opened it, right? Things I can do that also could be useful for in terms of tracking and finding leads and being able to pursue membership or potential new members is being able to kind of summarize things into a report. You could also, as you can see, resend the email. So, right, that would have been a great feature that I could have used for the Senate elections. Unfortunately, I didn't. I was trying to change up my approach of messaging. But say I just wanted to send out a follow-up reminder exactly the same way, I could go ahead and resend that email. And I could go ahead and select that and resend that email and then only to myself, right? And be able to do that. I could do that if I want to. That's, as you can see, it's only going to now send to me, and it's going to resend that same message and everything. So that is pretty cool because you can filter out, again, not only just the specific student or user, but if you have things like the member tags, subgroup tags, email tags, you can be able to actually find and filter down who you're wanting to reach. And here's another cool bit of that as well. You can do that by other things like this specific link. Now, a lot of these links are going to be the same in a lot of ways, right? Because they're the same thing, and you're going to see a lot of duplicates. But you can actually be able to see, like, hey, who clicked specifically on this link, right? And then it'll show you the three links, the 3 clicks from that, right? And vice versa. I mean, it could act. So if you had this labeled, right? If there was there could probably be a way to label this, the URL to the actual, so this could, the one that I have checked off right now, let's say that was banana. I had that labeled banana. I could then tell, okay, these are all the 12 individuals who clicked on that banana link. Well, if I'm trying to reach them, I can now, click on them, right? And so a lot of things like you can show who didn't open it, right? This can show the individuals who did not open this email yet. That's a really good feature because then you can see like, hey, maybe they either just didn't see it or they just unfortunately didn't choose to open it, but you could be able to then go ahead and select all of them again, resend the email, and then boom, they have another attempt at reaching them, right? So that could be very useful as well. And then, we have other things here. So I'm going to go back into all, clicked, not clicked. So who didn't click on something, right? I mean, the ability to filter out everything here is quite amazing, right? You could say, hey, I want to filter this down by if it's only staff members, right? You can see the 85 staff members. Say I want to do it by staff members who opened it and clicked, on this link, right? Like I could really go down deep. It's pretty cool and it's very useful in some of these aspects, right? So that that's something right there. Also, we're not really using the year grad filter option, member tags. This in this instance, I have member tags of every single one of the clubs, right? So I could say I could identify who from the Association for Welding Specialists, who actually from that club opened it. It looks like only one student did, right? So again, you have to sometimes put a little backbone or like structure into the club and building it. But once you do that, you really have so much flexibility to be able to really, at the tip of your fingertips, be able to not only view every option imaginable, but also that information that allows you to do some pretty cool stuff with being able to reach and repeat reaching your audience. and then subgroups, and we don't have any in the ELT group right now. And then you can obviously sort by a lot of different things. You could select all of these things, right? And then you could generate a basic report, right? That would then put it into an Excel document. So if you have so many, I mean, this might not be a bad example of this. I had 278 or 279. If I wanted to maybe identify this a little bit better and maybe have a different way of going about, usually I kind of start to format all of my stuff right from the get-go so that I have some idea. I could use an Excel document, make it a little simpler on myself, and use that maybe as a good way of doing it, right? That's also an option, right? This option comes in very handy for so many things, ranging from organizing and maintaining your membership and your club rosters, and adding members, adding officers. I mean, there's a lot of great uses for having an Excel document and generating a report like that. And then you can also, again, select every one of these, right? And add a member tag, or you could take out one. So if everyone had the same member tag, which they don't, you could add a member tag. That could be very useful. Or you could also just send a new email, right? So I mean, as you can see, there's an endless amount here of options, right? So let's go back. I'm still keeping my eye on the chat here, so that if there are any questions, please feel free to reach and say something. Let me also just also just give me one quick sec to respond to this. Okay, perfect, thank you. So, continuing on, right? So, I've already gone through the sent, the unsubscribed, I touched base on, right? Now, we can also have scheduled ones, right? Scheduled emails now, and I will show you what that looks like, but in a second. But essentially, when you go and build your email, right, you have to, and again, I'm just going to hit students on here and go here. And not select a group. Yeah, I got it. It's a weird hiccup. Yeah, it's under number 6, the delivery options. I can schedule a specific thing. So I'm just going to, for the ability to show this, right, I'm going to go ahead and click on officers, and then do this, right, just so that we have the ability to see it. I'm going to make sure I take off all of the individuals. As you can see, I have on here that little identifying mark of that red circle with a diagonal line through it that indicates that. So I myself unsubscribe from emails, right? And that's one way of being able to view, as you can see that Ellie did as well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I will do this so that I can show this better. So I'm going to send this to Elijah, and so I have only Elijah selected, and then I'm going to just go ahead and just do test. And then I'm going to go down here to the delivery options, and I'm going to schedule it. Well, we could schedule it for about a few minutes from now, right? So let's do 12. Do 12:50, right? So 12:50, and you always have to preview it first, which is a cool feature. It lets you then be able to actually make sure that you know what you're sending, and then it gives you that option and moves the orange button over to save and send, right? So I now can hit save and oops, I've done the subject, my bad. Oopsie, test. There we go. And then there we go. After you send an email, I think it should be noted, yeah, if you send an email, immediately would take you to this screen that says to view live opening clicks. That is essentially the same screen as I just showed you. So to say that they're live, I unfortunately, I wouldn't believe that is 100% true. But one thing that you can do, right, is you can also now, correct, your email will be sent on, tells you when it was sent on, to who. You can also there's an option on the incentive program to publish something in a newsletter, right? That's essentially sending an email and then publishing it from there to a newsletter. So I could go ahead and do that, which would then also, just as a side thing, allow me to then publish that, right? So then, I just got $25 off of the incentive program by just doing that right there, which is pretty nice, pretty cool. But you would go back to your view live opens and clicks, and then you would go, I'm going to show you now what it would look like. So that's scheduled, as you can see, it shows you the sent, but now it also shows you the schedule, right? So you can now see with that your message stuff. So what I did with the Senate elections is I had a bunch of these scheduled to go out at different time frames during the day, because it would reach different audiences. And that was the hope, was I could be able to reach as many individuals as possible to apply for to be a senator, right? So this is what it would look like. I just had it really built up, but yes, it shows it's scheduled at 12:50 though. This will disappear and it will then obviously show up in the sent, right? So that's the scheduled option, right? Drafts, you're gonna have tons of drafts if you do a lot of emails. As you can see, a lot of these are me that when I start to make something or to demonstrate it, and then I kind of drop it. But yeah, nothing big. Again, you have the ability to even tag your draft emails if you wanted to. I could go ahead and go and delete all of them. Now I don't have any emails, right? Now, also, I could create email templates. Now, email templates, and I have made a welcome email, right? Email templates make it easier to really send out mass emails, I guess, if you want to have more of a customizable approach, or if you have say a specific monthly newsletter every month where you're going to have the same look and really the same look and feel of an email like this, you could create a template that would say, this is my newsletter, template, and then every month you'll be able to then just to select that from your template and then just go and run with it, right? In this instance, another thing that you can do that I've done with the welcome email from the Test Group Club is I've basically created a new member, hello type of email once you become a new member. So if you want to join the Test Group Club and you join and you actually get validated and accepted in, then automatically it is set up so that this email will send out and it will say hello, and then it will fill in your name and welcome to the Test Group Club. Here are some resources to look at. Here are some things that you can do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a super useful tool for giving that nice little personalized touch that's automated. That's such a sweet thing that you can do with that, right? So that is what, in this instance, that's what I have here, right? It says welcome to the Test Group Club, and it also gives you some links and some things to do. And as you can see on here, I upload the bylaws. Hey, make sure that you view the bylaws, and on here it shows that, right? So that's another cool thing that you could do. And the rest of these obviously are basically just built-in default platform templates, right? So they just come with the platform, and you can be able to modify them as needed, and then obviously do things like duplicate them, right? So, and then you have the option to create a view template. You can switch back and forth between the classic email template, again, which is just basic, and then a actual more built out one that allows for more things like widgets and stuff like that. So that's the other thing right here. So then email tracking, right? So email tracking can be another useful tool here. A lot of it I felt kind of in some way mirrors, right, exactly the same stuff that we kind of view when we look at the opens and clicks. And as you can see, it says opens and clicks, right? So we're not really seeing anything different here, except maybe it's in a different way and in a different type of formatting it so that you can see a little bit differently, right? So in this instance with this welcome readers one, right? We can see it open 7 and that this is the 2 links that will click, right? But yeah, that changes and that will fluctuate depending on what you're sending out. But yeah, I don't really think that there was any specific thing different with this one, which is, you know, one small thing that I don't really think is as useful as it could be. You know, that's not too bad. Delivery status. I think that this would obviously show, right, when you were sending out. So like if you're sending out a lot of emails or a mass amount of emails, and you wanted to actually go out and actually like correctly work. So like as you can see, we just sent this one out, right? It's 12:51. So we can see that it actually sent this out to the recipients. It basically made it at when it needed to create it. So we laid out everything, but it sat in the scheduled sub file until it was ready to go out. And once that time hit, then it built the actual email that we can customize it to want to be, and then it sent it out. So it queued it up and sent it out, and it actually was open, right? So so that was great. So that's really what that is. So you could have a lot of these if you're sending out to a lot of different individuals, but this maybe might be a little bit more of a little bit more of a advanced technical troubleshooting option if you're maybe trying to reach a specific member outside of, say, maybe Madison College, or maybe that you were unsure if that email is a valid email or maybe it's a spam one. This would help kind of give some troubleshooting, and you could identify like, hey, did it actually go to where it was supposed to go? Was it successful? If it wasn't and it was dropped, what did that look like? And then you can kind of go from there, right? So that's really what delivery status looks like. So yeah, there's that one. And then and I'm keeping the everything open here so I can see if there are any questions. But the unsubscribed, right? So yeah, like I said, I already showed that. Really, if you have any unsubscribed, it would show you who, it would show you from what email and what the date was and what the email was. And yeah, it sometimes can even show you an explanation, but most times it won't. So, but yeah, that's that as well. So now to kind of finish up this training, right? I know I've kind of slowly gone through everything and kind of built up that anticipation. Now I will more or less go and just compose an email, right? And so today we're going to be going through and composing just a basic email and nothing special. And then the next training, which will be next week, that's where we'll do the part 2 of the email builder, which is the second way of going through this, right? And you'll see this in a second because they're asked. So the first thing, and again, I can't stress this enough, and I made this very clear in the events, the training for the events part 1 and part 2, that following the numbers on these, as you're going through a process is very useful, and it can help you from feeling like you're lost, right? So number 1, select your recipients, right? So we have some options here, right? So obviously, you as being an officer of the club, you'll be able to see that who do I send it to? Do I send it to the officers, the student, or the staff? Now, in this instance, your staff will probably only be one person, or maybe 2, maybe 3 at the very, very most, but it won't be more than that. So mostly you're going to be hitting students, right? So you would decide who I want as the account type that I want to be sending it out to, or if I just want to send it out to specific advisors, right? So again, I'm going to go ahead and click on the officers, and from here you're going to see one big thing, right? And you're going to see it's going to show your active. So the 13 active ones, yes, we have quite a few active ones in the test group club. And then you're also going to see the past. Now, obviously, we don't want the past because they're past officers. So in this instance, I want to select that. If I was to select students, right, I could also do the same thing, right? So I could go ahead and select based on criteria here. Now, one thing that is a little bit misleading is that this unknown and this not applicable, they're most likely the same thing. And it just depends on the best way to say it. Depends on if the student filled out their profile all the way. Because if they don't fill out the profile, if they leave it blank, you will have either an unknown, or if they do start filling it out but they don't finish it, you will end up with a not applicable. It just depends on the level of completion of a student or a user's profile. And obviously, as you can see, some of this was completed. So you can see that you have a 2024 or 2025 option as well. And again, if we were to look at staff, again, it's the same thing. It's the same amount, right? It's just the not having everything fully completed. That's something that I guess, truthfully, we'd like to see a little bit better managed, right, with completing a profile. But every student's different. We can't expect that to always be filled out and customized. Like mine, for example, my profile is very fully filled out and customized, right? So you would see my information very clearly in this information when trying to fill it out and filter myself out. Other options that you could do here, right? You could just do the past members. We only have one. Or if you have somebody who is a contact, which is basically not a verified 100% official member of a group or a club, and they either maybe checked into an event because you were hosting an event and they were some just random student that checked into it, or maybe you had some link to something to sign up to see. It creates them as a contact, so that gives them some affiliation with you, but doesn't fully make them a fully like official member of the club. So, and I've kind of referenced to some of this as well. You can, depending on if you create your tags, right, and build up on those, you can be able to see like what we've got, and so like I've got Team Red. So I'm technically all on. Actually, I have a student who's on Team Pink, so I could actually say I wanted to send this to Team Pink right now, right? So I could have that sent to Team Pink, and then I could say go ahead and compose, right? And then just the regular email composer. And then as you can see, I'm on every one of the colors, but Ritzy's on Team Pink. She wanted to be on Team Pink, and so I know I have selected a specific part of the group that I want to send these emails to, right? And so that helps. Some other cool things I can do, right? I can add a CC or BCC just like you would see in Outlook or Gmail, etc. And this though doesn't really. As soon as you do this though, I mean, if you want to maybe hide, maybe send to multiple people, but not really let them see who it's being sent to. Or I should say, send it to multiple people, but you don't want the multiple people to be able to know that and see each other. You could do something like put them all in the BCC and then send it to yourself if you want to. As soon as you do that, though, you do lose the opportunity to have any sort of data to track. So that's something to remember here, because as soon as that happens, the platform is unable to track that data, and so you will not see any open clicks or anything of that nature. So I want to make that very clear. So next bit here, so that was 2, right? You can also, I also will say, you can actually continue to do a little bit more if I wanted to say add, I could add, further members from this list. So this second one is my student account, right? So it's not a part of Team Pink, right? But I want to add them, right? Anyway, you can do that, and you have that option. So that's all in number 2 here. Number 3, this is basically saying who is it coming from. So in this, right, you can either have it coming from yourself, or if you have an email established and set up with your actual club, you can actually have that be the option. But if you do want that to be the option, you need to make sure that you have actually put that club or group email into the settings of your group, and that way it will know to associate this as an option, when you create an email, right? Because I put this in this TGC at MadisonCollege.edu, I put that in the settings of the group. And so, yeah, every time I create an email on behalf of this group, it will know to associate that email as one of the 2 options that I could choose from. The nice thing about this, right, is by doing this, having it come from the group email address as well, one, it obviously just, I think it goes without saying that it helps to show and establish yourself as a group or a club, and just showing that, hey, it's coming from us as an entity or as a one unit versus an individual. But sometimes there may be reasons why you would want to not have it like that. But the other thing is, if you're maybe say sending out an email that has a lot of potential disputes or negative reactions, or there's going to be a lot of questions or feedback, anything that is going to basically, you send that email out, you're going to get a lot of responses back, and you don't all want it hitting your personal inbox, or the blowing up and just making it so you can't really do what you got to do with your emails, because you've got so many emails coming in. You can say, hey, I want to be on behalf of the main email address, and it kind of lets you hide behind that. So that can be good, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click on that right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and, start to, this is a test email for the test, for the WolfPack Connect training on emails, part 1, right? Oops. And so there we go. I could add an attachment, right? It's a little bit weird to have it right there of all places, but if I wanted to say upload a document, right? I could I'll upload a copy of the club guide, right? So I click on that, done. And so when that shows, as you can see, it kind of hides out right there, but that's an option. I can also personalize it like I did with the email for the welcome email, by putting some sort of mail merge option, which basically goes through X amount of members depending on who your recipient list is, and then just fills in the username, right, or the name, etc., right? So in this instance, I can just say hi first name, right, and so that it's going to say hi Sean, hi Ritzy, and then I can go ahead and pick a template if I want, or I can just do a basic email, right? And in this basic email, I have all my different options for things I can do, right? I can bold something. So this is a test email. Hello, everyone. This is such a cool thing to do. Email, yay. Now, so I can, bold, I can make this way bigger if I wanted to, right? I could change the style. I could change the, oops, Control D that. I could change the That's strange. That's weird that did that. There we go. That was weird. I don't know what I did. I can, underline something if I wanted to. Oops. I think this is underline. I can do whatever I want, right? So it's pretty nice, right? And I can even break this down, and maybe I want this to be there, and maybe I want the font of this to be this, or I think everyone kind of gets this is very similar to what you would expect to see, right, from a like a Word document, right? So there's that, right? You could also, if you want to, this is way more advanced. I don't expect this, but you could do some actual HTML if you knew that, and put that in under source. You can add pictures, right? If you choose to put something in a Word document, right, and then you put it into this in the basic email, right? Builder, right? You need to make sure that you go ahead and click on this option, which I don't know if it's easy to see, but it says paste from Word, right? There was a glitch, or I don't know if it's a glitch, but there was some issue with formatting when you paste things directly from Word, like a Word document, right into this body of a email, and it will not format and then view display correctly. So you need to just change it so that you paste from Word and just dump anything in from there, and then that will end up actually formatting correctly. So something to think about. And then, so other than that though, you can also put links in here. I mean, you can really do a lot of cool stuff. And it actually does mention pasting right there as a good reminder. The other cool thing that you can do is if you have anything that you've made or created, or you have any events that are coming up, or like, hey, this is like, say this email is about filling out a form, and then, and select and going to an event coming up. You could go ahead and click on and add in 5 any of those options, right? So, and it will show everything. So like, and it's only going to show right now these surveys because I don't have any events, but and these things are just going to be on everything, as well as that things for the email. But yeah, you could then put as many as you want. I'm going to put a couple down here. Test from June 3rd, right? And then again, we've already kind of established what the delivery options are. If I wanted to, it's similar to the preview at first, right? But it is a little bit different. If I wanted to send myself a test email first of this to view it, I could click on this. It would say a test was sent to, and then your email address, and then you would say you receive it in like less than 30 seconds. Probably will come in a little bit later than that for me. It has not come in yet for me, but it will pop up, and it will just show something like connect. Yeah, it'll show this. Actually, it just came in. It just came in. So which is great. So let me just move that out of the way. Yep, it just came in. It wasn't too long, but it says this message is a test, and then hi, first name, all of our stuff, and then there are 2 attachments down below, right? So you can kind of be able to see exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to be similar to that when you click on that preview at first, obviously, right? Very much similar, but I think the big reason is they just want to make sure that you're sending it the right way that you want to send it, and not making any mistakes. Because yes, once you hit that preview at first, then your orange button will go over to save and send. You also have the option to do save as draft. If you did that, it would again show up in your drafts, right? And then we probably have lost our email, right? But that's fine for this instance. I just do test. I do test. I do dear from this, and then add this and this. Preview it first. Close, and then save and send, right? And again, as I said, shows the email sent, who it sent to, your view live opens and clicks, and publish this as a news article, which again helps you with the incentive program. So now you can see that it was sent to two people, right? Myself, from my student email and Aritzi, and once somebody opens it, right, it will show up here, right? It will should also, that was for something else. It probably will pop up in this. I have it forwarded, so it may show up, pop up here, and then I may open, if I open it from here, then it would pop up and show. But yes, that is essentially, in a nutshell, what it looks like, right? What this part of just the basic email builder is, not the more advanced one. We will go into that email builder specifically next week. I believe that will be next. Yeah, that'd be next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Right? So stay tuned for that. Oh, I also should say, it'll give you a confirmation once your email has been sent. So you can see that it's been sent. The track email will take you to the live clicks and stuff. So just make sure that you go ahead and fill out the officer workshop reflection form once you're done. And just, put down, you only have to put down one thing that you've learned from this, and then respond with one thing that you think has been useful. And, you have to make sure you get 2 officers to do this. So it could either be 2 officers doing this to, say, that one training, either in person or online or a recording, or it could be from one officer going to multiple trainings or watching multiple videos or what have you, right? Just has to be 2 entries of 2 different things, and that will fulfill the incentive program requirement. So I hope that you've had a good time and that you've learned something. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions, so I can maybe sit down further and go over some stuff. But yeah, that in a nutshell is your emails, part 1. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later.
Thank you. Oh, can you hear me?